"You're useless," my husband said, selling our house to start a new family. I was devastated. Then I found a hidden diary. He'll regret this. The gentle morning sunlight streaming through the trees paints a picture of the two-story home in a tranquil Chicago suburb. The sound of my alarm pulls me out of sleep, and I'm 38 years old. I glance at the empty space next to me where Nigel usually sleeps, and it triggers a profound sigh as I start to get out of bed. As I stand there, staring at my reflection in the mirror, I see how weary I look. Those dark circles under my eyes, a constant reminder of years spent trying to get pregnant. I think back on my marriage, which has now been 15 years long, as I brush my hair. The burning need to have children, the repeated fertility treatments, and how our marriage has slowly cooled. I squeeze my eyes shut and shake my head, almost as though the memories are too heavy to carry. In the kitchen, I sit alone eating breakfast. Nigel left a simple note for me on the table. He had to leave for work early. I manage a sad smile when reading it. Getting ready for work, I start to pack up my things, and as I'm packing, I see a brochure about adoption, and I'm an elementary school teacher. I recall how I brought up the idea of adoption to Nigel, only to be met with a strong objection. Before walking out the door, I stopped to look at our wedding picture, positioned on the shelf in the living room. We're smiling and standing close together in that photo. How hopeful we looked then, so different from how things are now. I pick up the photo, lost in the memory of it all. What went wrong, I wonder quietly. Setting the picture back on the shelf, I leave the house. Before climbing into my car, I take a look at the house next door. I see a young couple giggling away in their yard with a little kid in their arms. A shadow passes over my face for just a moment, but then I pull myself together quickly and start the engine. When I get back from school, I'm exhausted, that's for sure. It's quiet when I walk inside. Nigel hasn't arrived yet. I fix and eat a basic dinner all by myself. Then I sit in the living room, opening a photo album and spreading it out on my lap. Pictures from our wedding, memories from our honeymoon, and photos from when we were first together, filled with happiness. As I go through each page, tears start to fill my eyes. On the final page, there's a photo of my great-grandmother Miranda, taken in Chicago before the Depression. Miranda is standing in front of an old, historic house, which doesn't even exist anymore. While I stare at the photo, a thought hits me. I rush to open my laptop and begin searching on real estate websites. Perhaps this is what's left of our relationship, I whisper to myself. I continue looking through listings for older houses long into the night. The full moon is shining quietly outside my window. For the first time in a long time, there's a tiny spark of hope in my eyes. A few weeks later, our 15th wedding anniversary arrives. I cook a special dinner and wait for Nigel to get home. But the time he was supposed to be home passes, and Nigel doesn't show up. I keep calling Nigel's cell phone over and over again, but there's no answer. When she finally gets him on the phone, he gives her the standard line about being swamped with work, brushing aside how she feels. Feeling torn between letdown and rage, I gather my strength. The very next day, I inform Nigel that we need to sit down and have a serious conversation. Nigel, I believe this may be the last opportunity we have to salvage our relationship. Would you think about purchasing an old house I found and fixing it up with me? Even though Nigel hesitates at first, he finally says yes, won over by how excited I am about the idea. The day we move in after buying the house, I walk inside, absolutely thrilled. The old floors that creak, the one-of-a-kind designs of the wallpaper, and the history-rich feeling throughout the entire place completely capture my heart. However, Nigel stays distant. Always on work calls, he shows hardly any interest in fixing the place up. Although I'm saddened, I begin the renovation process by myself. As I'm tearing off wallpaper, cleaning up the floors, and arranging the furniture, working until I'm drenched in sweat, I slowly start to feel connected to the house. One day, while I'm taking off the wallpaper in the upstairs bedroom, something falls out from inside the wall. An old diary, a mysterious key, and an envelope with my name on it. My hands shake with astonishment and delight. But right as I'm about to look at them, I hear Nigel's voice, unexpectedly back home. I quickly conceal my discoveries and head downstairs. Nigel, completely lost in his work conversations, doesn't notice how I am. That evening, lying in bed, I can't stop thinking about what I found hidden away. I've decided I will really look them over tomorrow, so I close my eyes. Even though that's the plan, new questions and a sense of anticipation begin to well up within me. When I wake up, I glance at the space next to me. Nigel's missing. It isn't rare for him to be gone, but this morning has a weird vibe. I drag myself out of bed and walk down the stairs. When I walk into the living room, I spot something on the table. I cautiously pick it up. It reads, "I've had it. I've sold the house." I'm gone. It's only a single line. Over and over, I read it, completely stunned. I'm totally bewildered and fear grips me. Nigel, what is going on? With my hands shaking, I try Nigel's cell phone, but the call won't go through. I try again and again, but the call still fails. Close to panicking, I contact Samantha, who has been in a wheelchair for a few years after an accident. I've helped take care of her. I plead with her, "Samantha, please help me." Samantha's soothing voice somehow calms my worried feelings a little. She listens to what's happened and tells me I should talk to a lawyer. That same afternoon, my friend Samantha and I go to a law office. The lawyer's tone is cold. He tells me, "I'm sorry, but your husband was legally able to sell the house. It was a proper transaction." Almost falling apart, I feel Samantha's support. I say, "But it's my house." The lawyer looks at me, full of pity, but says that there is nothing that can be done legally. That night, I end up staying at Samantha's place. I'm lying here on the bed in the spare room, completely stunned. Time just keeps moving, and I just go through the motions robotically. Samantha is so concerned about me and offers me every bit of help she can. One morning, my phone makes a noise. It was an email notification. I see it's from Nigel and open it with a lot of dread. The email's message confirms my deepest fears. Nigel confesses that he's been seeing his coworker Serena and is starting a new family with her and her 5-year-old son. I start shaking intensely from the shock. Samantha immediately rushes to me. "Nicole, are you all right? What's wrong?" Unable to say anything, I just hand my phone to Samantha. Her face shows a combination of fury and pain as she reads the email. "Nicole, I'm so sorry. That Nigel is awful." I suddenly start to cry. 15 years of marriage, the fantasies of having kids, plus the house we just bought, the fact that it's all falling apart so quickly is just too much to handle. Samantha gives me a gentle hug. All she can do is simply be there for me. Time goes on and it seems to drag. After some days, I slowly start to accept what's happening. Samantha's words of support and her encouragement are slowly helping me heal inside. One morning, I suddenly remember the diary and the envelope that were left behind at the house. That item I found within the wall that day. "Samantha, I have to go back to the house." Samantha looks concerned. "Are you sure? Isn't it too soon?" I respond with determination. There's something important for me in that house. I have to go back and get it. I could see Nicole's determination, and Samantha gave a slow nod. "I get it. I'll go with you." Nicole looks at Samantha, showing her appreciation. She takes a big breath, trying to find the strength to deal with what's coming. They both get into the vehicle and drive towards the home that used to belong to Nicole and Nigel. While driving, Nicole looks out the window, thinking about what her life will be like going forward. Although she's been through a lot, there's still optimism. Maybe the things in the diary and envelope will show her where to go next. A tiny spark of positivity begins to grow inside Nicole. Samantha's car pulls up in front of Nicole and Nigel's old house. Nicole takes a deep breath and opens the door, her hands shaking. "Are you all right?" Samantha asks, her voice filled with worry. Nicole gives a little nod. "Yes, I'm okay. I'll go inside." Being right in front of the house, she's overcome with both fond memories and sadness. A few days ago, she had gotten in touch with the new owners with Samantha's help and gotten their approval to get her stuff. When she rings the bell, a woman who seems middle-aged answers it. She looks at Nicole with understanding and quietly asks her to come in. "Don't worry about taking your time getting what you need. There is no need to hurry." Nicole says thank you and goes upstairs. Going into the bedroom on the second floor, she thinks about the diary and envelope that were hidden in the wall. Luckily, the new owners hadn't started any remodeling yet. Nicole carefully pulls the wallpaper back and takes the diary and envelope from where they were hidden. When she cradles the objects, an odd feeling of comfort settles over me. Before I head out, I take a final glance at the living room. The good times we had here raced through my mind like a quick movie. I shut the door softly with tears welling up. Back in the car, Samantha gives me a warm smile. "Did you get them?" I reply with a nod, holding the diary still in its envelope against my chest. "Yep. There's a possibility of family secrets in there." Later that evening at Samantha's place, I start to open the diary with some nervousness. As I flip through the old, worn pages, my great-grandmother Miranda's fine handwriting appears. I read carefully. Amazing details began to surface. This house was used as a stop on the Underground Railroad when the Civil War was happening. Miranda, even though she was white, helped slaves get away and find their freedom. I can hardly believe it. I take a deep breath. Samantha wants to know what I've found. I eagerly explain the diary's contents to Samantha. Samantha's eyes begin to light up with interest. Afterward, I open the envelope that's addressed to me. Inside is a letter from Miranda. The letter described where to find a secret room in the house and some vital evidence that was stored there. "This is unbelievable," I exclaim, "Samantha. This place is important historically." I say firmly. "I have to save this house," I say to Samantha. "I've got to protect the history." The very next day, I get in touch with the local Historical Preservation Society. I was really enthusiastic as she described the house's past importance and asked for the team's help with the investigation. The group was really interested, and they assured her that they would send a research crew right away. A few days went by, and a group of historians and architectural specialists showed up at the house. I went with Samantha, and we showed them the details from Miranda's journal and the letter. As the investigation moved forward, the house's historical importance became clearer and clearer. Then we found the secret room, and it had artifacts and paperwork from the Civil War. The importance of what I'd found totally consumed me. I began to feel a new sense of direction within me as it started to replace the heartache of my family's past and my marriage. One day, a member of the research team hurried over to me, all excited. "Ms. Nicole," she said, "we found someone who knew about Miranda's actions, an 85-year-old lady called Audrey." She also saw the civil rights movement firsthand. My heart was pounding. I immediately asked to meet Audrey. Samantha and I went to Audrey's house a few days later. She greeted us with a really welcoming smile to see Miranda's great-granddaughter. "I'm so glad," she said. Tears welled up in Audrey's eyes. Barely able to contain myself, I asked, "Audrey, please tell me about my great-grandmother. What was she like?" Audrey looked off into the distance and began to share. Miranda was a very brave woman. She was a firm believer that everyone deserved respect, regardless of their race or background. She was responsible for saving countless lives, and mine was included in that count. Nicole pauses to catch her breath. She finds that she is also overcome with tears. Audrey adds that Miranda's home acted as a shelter, a place of safety, for those who had escaped slavery. That same feeling carried over throughout the civil rights movement. Nicole fully comprehends the significance of her task in safeguarding this crucial piece of history. A fresh feeling of resolve blossoms inside her. "I will guard this house and its concealed past, Audrey. I will honor my great-grandmother's example." Audrey offers a soft smile and takes hold of Nicole's hand. "You have the ability to do this." Miranda would be immensely pleased. During the drive home, Nicole and Samantha have a quiet discussion. "You've got a new purpose now," Samantha says. Nicole responds with a nod. "Absolutely. I'm going to protect this house, and I want to make its history known to lots of folks." As the car travels along, bathed in the colors of the setting sun, Nicole experiences a deep sense of hope and renewed dedication. A few days after that meeting with Audrey, Nicole begins an initiative to preserve the house's historical worth, with renewed dedication. With assistance from Samantha, she begins posting information on social media and actively contacting local history buffs and community organizations. Nicole's enthusiasm, combined with the extraordinary history of the house, slowly starts to attract the attention of people who live in the area. One day, a journalist from the local paper asks to interview Nicole. "Could you explain in more detail the historical significance of this house?" The reporter asks with noticeable interest while making notes. Nicole gets a tiny piece of this house. I take a deep breath and respond, "This old home is more than just bricks and wood. Back during the Civil War, it was vital in helping save runaway slaves. That rebellious spirit persisted all through the civil rights movement." After the article goes public, Nicole's hard work starts getting noticed by lots of people. Television stations from around here start coming to report on the hidden room and the things that were found. I start to feel like my words are finally making an impact on people. However, right when things are really starting to pick up, some upsetting news arrives. The real estate developer who owns the house shares plans to put up a towering apartment building on the land. "Nicole, this is awful." Samantha calls, totally panicked. "The developer intends to tear the house down." I'm stunned for a moment, speechless, but I quickly pull myself together. "Samantha, I'm not going to surrender. We have a good reason to protect this house. We have a reason to protect this history. I know we're in a race against time. I'm going to lawyers, looking for some legal way to stop the house from being torn down. At the same time, I'm still trying to get the media's attention, constantly talking up how important the house is. My unwavering efforts finally pay off and my campaign gets coverage on national news. One night, they showed my interview on a big news show. "This house is a really important part of our history," I tell the camera with a serious look on my face. "It holds the stories of brave folks. We can't just let those stories be forgotten." It's just a coincidence that someone, let's call him Nigel, happens to be watching this show and he's living far away. He's just staring at the TV, completely stunned, seeing Nicole. He barely breathes out her name. The Nicole on the screen I see is completely different from the one he used to know. She seems so sure of herself and full of life. He gets it. Nigel finally understands how much that house was really worth and realizes how dumb he was to let it go. "Dad, what's wrong?" Serena's son asks, curious, standing right next to him. Nigel suddenly returns to the present and forces a sort of sad smile. "Nothing, it's nothing." But from that night, things start changing inside of Nigel. He starts to have doubts about this new life he has with Serena. After a hard day, I find him often deep in his own thoughts. Simultaneously, I'm sensing changes happening within Nicole as she focuses on her goals. Before she was just stuck in the pain of not being able to have children, but she's discovered a new sense of direction now. One day, Samantha tells Nicole, "You seem so full of life these days." Nicole seems a little surprised at first, but then offers a soft smile. "Really? I hadn't even noticed. But you're right," she says. "I do have a reason to fight for now, something I need to protect." Samantha smiles. "That's great. I'm confident that you can save that house." Nicole becomes even more determined. "Thank you, Samantha. I'm not going to give up." Meanwhile, the discussions with the developer have hit a dead end. They are only concerned with making money and are not open to what Nicole wants to tell them. Despite that, more and more people are starting to support what I am doing every day. Local people, historians, and people who are supporting me all over the place are gathering together for the cause. I delivered a speech at a protest rally right outside the house one day. That house is a link between what's been and what's to come. Inside, there are the echoes of those who battled for liberty and fairness. I believe we're obligated to preserve that legacy and share it with those who come after us. The crowd roared with approval. I could sense my words resonating with everyone present, and it filled my own heart with a powerful feeling. As the struggle to keep the house goes on, a rock-solid resolve has settled within me. My life is starting a new phase, inextricably linked to this house. Amidst the widespread national focus on my effort to save the house, I decide on a new plan. I'm going to look for the concealed room spoken about in my great-grandmother Miranda's letter. Following lengthy talks with the new owners, I eventually get the okay to do my investigation. Early one morning, I go to the house, accompanied by Samantha. As we make our way across the lawn, still damp with dew, towards the entrance, neighbors observe with interest. A number of historians and architectural specialists are already waiting outside. "Are you prepared?" Samantha asked in a soft voice. I take a deep breath and then shake my head in agreement. "Yes, let's get started." Inside, I begin carefully checking the walls, following the instructions in the letter. The experts pitch in, using up-to-date technology to scan behind the walls. After hours have passed and we're all starting to feel worn out, an excited shout shatters the quiet. It is quiet, and then this is it. I was thrilled when I heard the architect's exclamation. He pointed out that there was an area located behind this wall. We all waited with anticipation as part of the wall was carefully taken down. A little opening leading to a secret room was then revealed. I grabbed my flashlight, my hands shaking, and I slowly shined it into the room. Inside, I saw many old, dusty boxes. There were also lots of dusty old papers filling the room. I took a step in and a shiny object caught my eye on the floor. I bent down and I picked it up, finding it was an old gold ring. "This could be something very important," I gasped. It was supposedly a thank-you gift given to Miranda by those slaves who had escaped to freedom. Throughout the ongoing investigation, incredible things kept being found. We found detailed accounts of helping escaped slaves, plus maps illustrating underground railroad pathways, and even, astonishingly, artwork that was created by a significant black artist who lived during the time of slavery. These finds truly proved how historically important this house was. The news quickly went across the nation, which pushed the state government to respond. A few days later, the governor himself hosted a press conference, announcing that the house would be protected and declared a national historical landmark. As word of my success spread, I started giving interviews right outside of the house. I was genuinely happy that the house would be saved, and I smiled into the cameras. I said that this wasn't just my win, it really belonged to everyone who helped us. Right as the interview wrapped up and I was getting ready to go back in with Samantha, a voice that I knew called out to me, "Nicole." I instantly froze when I heard the sound. Spinning around, she spots Nigel standing nearby. Although he appears weary, his eyes reveal his resolve. "I have to speak with you," he murmurs in a soft voice. After a short pause, Nicole, with Samantha's urging, agrees to a conversation. They enter the living room, the place where they once built a life. Initially, Nigel Bose says with deep sincerity, "I want to express my regret. My behavior was utterly idiotic and awful. I inflicted pain upon you, and I sold this beloved home. I wish I could undo all of it." Nicole hears him out in silence, a jumble of feelings swirling inside her. "I saw you on the television," Nigel carries on. "I never would have guessed you possessed such strength, such courage. Truly, I never truly understood you." Following a period of stillness, Nicole speaks softly. "Nigel, I do accept your apology, however, I can't forgive you." "Well, not presently anyway." Nigel lowers his head in a sorrowful nod. "I comprehend. Even so, I needed to communicate these things." As he gets up to depart, he also adds that he ended things with Serena as well. "I'm incredibly upset for her and her child, but I'm finished running away from the errors I've made." Once the door clicks shut behind him, I release a long, deep breath. Outside, the setting sun casts a vibrant red hue across the heavens. Samantha gently puts her hand on my shoulder. Are you doing all right? Nicole smiles and nods. Yes, I am okay. That evening I walk through the house by myself. I consider all the memories held within each room. Between the sadness of never having children, the collapse of my marriage, and this new purpose I have, I feel like all of these things have led me to this moment. Standing next to the living room window, looking out at the garden bathed in moonlight, Nicole speaks quietly. Miranda, were you watching out for me? Your bravery and grit have endured to this very day. I take a deep breath, solidifying my resolve within. Not only did she keep the house safe, but she's also on the cusp of starting anew here. When the next day dawns, I wake up early. I'm on the grass out front, watching as the sun climbs in the sky. It signifies a fresh start. Samantha comes up using her walker. Good morning, Nicole. This is the first day of your new job. I offer a simple nod. I've chosen to manage the house as a place to learn about history. I think, yes, I will share this house's history with everyone as I smile. That way they can understand our history and create a brighter future. Both of us gaze up at the house, illuminated by the morning sun. At that instant, a peculiar feeling washes over me. It feels like I've finally discovered the place I've always wanted, a feeling of comfort I've been craving. Well, are we ready? I ask, feeling cheerful. It's like the start of something new. As I walk toward the house with Samantha, my heart overflows with optimism. I'm no longer stuck in past pain. With this house, I can shape a new narrative, one filled with valor, affection, and optimism. The next chapter of my life is right around the corner. Now, on a cool autumn morning, I'm at the entrance of the house, which has become a museum. In the year since I won the fight to preserve it, a lot has changed. I've found this place has been lovingly brought back to life and transformed into a museum, sharing the history of the secret network during the Civil War. I take a long, steadying breath and put the key in the lock. As I push the door open, the comforting smell of aged timber washes over me. The walls are adorned with care, showcasing photos and paperwork that share the accounts of those who fled slavery. Every single morning that I look at this place, I feel a surge of warmth in my chest. Good morning to me. I spin around and I spot Samantha slowly coming toward me using her cane for support. Samantha's recovery has been truly amazing and she can now walk for brief periods. Samantha, you're here again today. I give my friend a joyful hug. Together, we stroll through the museum, doing our last checks of the displays. Every so often, I slow down to match Samantha's pace, offering a gentle smile as I see how well she's doing. It's all because of you, Samantha says unexpectedly. Your inner strength gave me bravery as well. I feel tears welling up in my eyes. I'm the one who should be thanking you, Samantha. I couldn't have made it this far without your help. As the museum is about to open, the first visitors begin to arrive. I stand at the front desk, welcoming everyone with a smile. People from our town, travelers from faraway places, and even groups of kids on field trips steadily begin to come inside. With enthusiasm, I talk about the house's background, its importance in the Underground Railroad, the inspiring stories of brave people, and the valuable items we've uncovered here. Each time I witness the spark of delight and heartfelt reactions in visitors as they hear my narratives, I feel a profound sense of meaning. That day, there's an unexpected arrival. It's Nigel leading a small boy by the hand. Nicole, Nigel calls out a little hesitantly. I wanted to see what you've been working on. Although I'm caught off guard, I quickly collect myself. Come in, let me give you a tour. I describe the home's past in a detached way, keeping my complicated feelings in check. Nigel listens carefully, sometimes offering soft explanations to the boy at his side. When the tour ends, Nigel stops in front of the secret room, addressing the boy. In life, it's crucial to be truthful. As the house's history demonstrates, it's important to have the bravery to do what's right. My chest feels heavy with emotion when I hear his words. I get the feeling Nigel has truly evolved. After Nigel leaves, I stand by the window, staring into the distance. Seeing my ex-husband again has triggered stronger emotions than I anticipated. However, it also strengthens my belief that I'm on the correct track. That night, Audrey comes over. I greet her with enthusiasm. Audrey, thanks so much for coming. Would you like to hear my ideas for a new show? Audrey gives me a friendly smile. Absolutely, Nicole. I'm sure your ideas will be amazing. I start to explain, my voice full of excitement. It's an educational show aimed at sharing the house's history with younger people. Her imagination is boundless, and she's collaborating with schools, setting up workshops, and holding discussions with the ancestors of formerly enslaved people. Audrey says, showing her feelings, "That's fantastic, Nicole." Miranda would be so thrilled. Hearing Audrey's words, Nicole's eyes well up. The longing for kids still surfaces in her thoughts from time to time. However, she feels like she's embraced a new form of motherhood through this new endeavor. A few weeks later, the new educational program gets started. Nicole cautiously but enthusiastically greets the initial group of students. "Hello, everyone," she says in a calm voice. Today I'm going to recount for you the history of an extraordinary house. Seeing the children's intrigued faces, Nicole experiences a warmth in her chest. She starts sharing the occurrences that happened within these walls, the tales of brave individuals, and the significance of liberty and fairness. Witnessing the children's faces shift with astonishment and emotion as they listen, Nicole's commitment is reinforced. She can communicate important lessons to the upcoming generations through the home's past. For Nicole, nothing could top this. Once the program concludes and the children leave, Nicole strolls slowly through the house. While she comes face to face with the hidden memories in each room, she contemplates her own life. The tough marriage, the sadness of not having children, the experience of betrayal, and the pain of loss. And then, she found a new meaning in life, in a manner she did not anticipate. All of these experiences have molded her into the person she is at the moment. I stand near the window, gazing upward at the darkening sky. That orange hue high above suggests a fresh start is on the horizon. Miranda, are you seeing this? I murmur, the bravery you showed still inspires so many even now. This is just one day. I take in a long, slow breath and a smile spreads across my face. When tomorrow arrives, I will greet fresh faces and continue the house's tale. For me, this is far more than just employment. It's my entire existence. Samantha softly touches my shoulder. It's time we headed home, Nicole. Tomorrow promises to be amazing. I simply agree and leave the building alongside my friend. My heart overflows with both optimism and appreciation. Finding this house, keeping its history safe, and creating new narratives, this truly is my new life's purpose. Just before I step outside the front door, I turn back one last time to view the house. The old building, awash in the glow of the setting sun, seems to smile kindly. In my mind, I whisper, "Thank you, and I hope you'll keep watching over me." After that, I start the journey home, getting ready to greet another new morning.